Hey, I'm Craig. I'm a therapist, social scientist, and a dad. I have worked with young people as a therapist for about 30 years, with kids in state custody, kids engaging in criminal behavior, kids sent to private residential treatment programs by their parents, all sorts of teenagers. I started growing frustrated that the teenage years had to be as hard as they were, and I realized that they didn't have to be that hard. So I started a nonprofit called Weyo Youth because I wanted to be part of a solution. I wanted to help create a very meaningful solution in the lives of young people. I wanted to help young people connect better with others. So the Surgeon General declared a youth mental health crisis in the last few years. And this has been validated by scientists across the country and around the world. Our young people are struggling. Signs of struggling include depression, anxiety, addictive behaviors, and even suicidal ideation and suicidal completion. In the last 15 years, the number of 10 to 14-year-old girls going to ER because of self-harm behavior has increased 5 times. Over 50% of teenage girls in America feel persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness. The number of teenagers completing suicide in the last 15 years has increased 80%. Let that sink in. In addition to some of the struggles we see in teenagers, we also see disconnection in the lives of young adults. Young adults are dating less than they used to. They are less likely to marry than they used to. They're less likely to be part of forming a family. And so they're missing out on companionship. They're missing out on belonging that comes with being part of a family, of creating a family. It used to be that only 5% of young adults would never marry. Now, the average 20-year-old has a 33% chance of never marrying. 1/3 of young adults today will never marry. That is significant for their future well-being, for society, for communities. The fact that these young adults will not be part of families, will not have companions in their life, that is significant for their future well-being and functioning. Young people today spend half as much time in in-person relationships as they did only 15 to 20 years ago. So it might not surprise you that young people are struggling to connect with others when you see the impact of tech, and especially smartphones, social media, video games. When we talk about the importance of human connection, we're talking about something that is not new to us as humans. This is something that's been important to humanity from the beginning of time. You look at the major world cultures and the major world traditions. You look at the history of these cultures. You look at the way they express themselves in art and in other forms, in literature, in science even. And the importance of human connection has always been primary. We define connection as a sense of oneness with others. This sense of oneness is critical to our well-being, to our happiness, to our sense of purpose in life. Connection is so critical in the lives of our young people. It's the most important thing for their happiness, for their well-being, for their mental health, for their physical health, in their education, in their future employment, in their sense of purpose in life. Connection is critical to help young people thrive. And when they don't have connection, young people decline. Young people are in distress. So when we talk about youth being in distress, imagine that we're looking at a tree that's in distress. And the signs of this distress might be the leaves wilting, it might be color fading. And in the lives of young people, we tend to see depression, anxiety, addictive behaviors, other signs of distress, lack of productivity, lack of motivation. But really you have to look at the roots of the tree. So the roots of the tree often is a sense of disconnection in the lives of young people. When young people feel disconnected from others, they struggle. They struggle on a daily basis. I like to I like to say that our young people need connection every day, just like we need vitamin C. They need their vitamin C. They need connection on a daily basis. It's so vital to their daily functioning, to their ongoing functioning. And a lot of young people don't get enough connection on a daily basis or on an ongoing basis. As young people are spending less time in in-person relationships, they develop less interpersonal skills. That affects all sorts of things in their life. That affects their schooling, their education. That affects their family dynamics. That affects their ability to interact with others in the workplace. That affects how they do on teams, sports teams, and other extracurricular activities. It affects how likely they are to want to take initiative and do other activities and to grow in other ways. A young person that is not interacting with others as much as you and I did when we were teenagers. A young person that is interacting with others half as much as you and I did when we were teenagers. Their brains are being affected. Their brain development is being affected. They're going through sensitive periods of brain development. And if those sensitive periods are missed, they are not recaptured. It's critical that we take this seriously. Our young people need interaction with others. They need meaningful connection with others. Another thing to think about when it comes to the development of our youth is they develop from a me orientation to a we orientation. And so we measure maturity based on how well the young person is moving from me to we. Young people, maybe by no fault of their own, as a young child, as a baby, a young child, they see things revolving around them. But as they mature and as they grow, they start to realize like, oh, things don't revolve around me. I revolve around something bigger than me. And that's a sign of maturity, maturation. It's a sign of development for young people to realize that they are part of something greater. But if young people are missing out on developing in their relationships, they often don't move through these phases of development. They tend to stay more self-centric instead of to become more other-aware. And they also don't develop as much. They don't develop their skills and their talents as much because they're not needing those skills and talents to contribute to the well-being of others. When they have a greater perspective and they see a bigger picture that they are needed, they need to develop their skills, talents, abilities, that they can contribute to the lives of others. They feel a greater sense of purpose in their lives. So who needs to work on how they connect with others? Sometimes we might think that there are certain people that could benefit from working on connection. Maybe somebody who's lonely, maybe somebody that's a little bit more awkward, they're on the outskirts. But the reality is that all of us need to work on connection. If this really is the essence of life, if this really is the most important thing in life, the quality of our relationships and connections with others, all of us need to work on this on a daily basis, on an ongoing basis. We all can benefit from working on this, whether you're an employer, whether you're an employee, whether you're a student, whether you're a teacher, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a coach. We all can benefit from how we connect with others, and also others will benefit as we work on connecting better with them and others. So I hope you take action in your own life for your own sake, for the sake of those that you care about in your life, your family, coworkers, neighbors, other people in your life. I hope you take action.